Now, Bitcoin, all that it really wants to be is a currency that is digital and decentralized. Okay, so you know what digital is. I don't need to explain that. What do they mean by decentralized? Bitcoin is not supposed to be run by any one person or company or group or anything else. Okay, now that is actually a sort of difficult thing if you want a digital currency. Let's think about it. So let's say that you had a digital currency that's just files on your computer. Well, it's easy to just copy a file and send it to multiple people. Infinite money, right? That obviously doesn't work. So if, let's say, PayPal wanted to create a digital currency, that would also be easy because everyone might have an account. But if you want to ask someone, how much money do I have? Was this transaction this person sent me, was that legitimate? You can just ask PayPal, right? Because they keep all the transactions. They are the arbiter of truth if they're managing the currency. But how does Bitcoin manage to be digital but still decentralized? That is, not having something like PayPal or some other company controlling the whole game. Here's how it works. It's blockchain technology, right? Well, actually, it's a little bit more than that. So firstly, a blockchain, what that is, it's actually just a list of all the transactions ever in Bitcoin, okay? Or in whatever cryptocurrency you're talking about. It's called a blockchain because technically it's not just a list of transactions, it's actually a list of transactions in chunks, in blocks, usually of around 10 minutes or so of time that all these transactions are, happen during. And they are related, those are called blocks, and they're related to the blocks next to them that happened before and after by cryptographic hashes, okay? And that's called a chain, right? A blockchain. Now, this by itself doesn't really mean anything. Okay, so what? Now, here's the interesting thing. The computers in the blockchain network, in the Bitcoin network, they are made to do two things, right? First, they store all of the transactions that people put onto the Bitcoin network. If you send someone money, if someone sends money to you, they store that in the blockchain. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this is going to sound weird, but this is the solution actually. You make all of these computers perform extremely complex cryptographic puzzles. Why do you make them do that? Well, now these puzzles, they're not, I don't mean in the sense like someone can look at the answer sheet and see if they're right, but they're cryptographic puzzles that can be easily checked, but you require lots of real life processing power to actually solve. Now, why is this important? Well, what ultimately determines what the true blockchain is what has the most proof of work. That is, where has the network solved the most cryptographic puzzles. Let me give you an example of this. You can download the Bitcoin blockchain, okay, on your own computer. It's big, but you can download it. You can actually make changes to it. Let's say you make a change that says, millions of Bitcoin I'm going to have go to my wallet, right? You could do that. Okay, you go in there and modify it. And then you could host a node and try to get other people to accept your version of the blockchain that you've falsified, right? But how the Bitcoin network is set up is that the only blockchain that matters is the one with the most proof of work, the one that has solved the most cryptographic puzzles. All the other ones, they don't exist, they don't matter, okay? This means if you wanted someone to actually pay attention to your blockchain, your version of the blockchain, you would have to perform real proof of work. You would have to have more processing power than everyone else on the planet. Okay? So that would basically be impossible. So Bitcoin, because of this, you can actually trust the blockchain that's out there, that this is the real transactions. And that is it's not something that's being managed by one party. It's something that, you could even manage, you can download it yourself and, that something you don't have to trust. No one is going to manipulate. You don't need one party running the show, okay? So that's the basic, I should say, why would anyone even do these cryptographic puzzles, right? Why would you put your computer into the network to participate in this? It's just going to waste your electricity. Well, that's why it's called Bitcoin mining. because how the Bitcoin network works is that if you solve, if you're part of a party that solves these cryptographic puzzles, you are rewarded an amount of Bitcoin for doing so. So the network always progresses. It always has more and more proof of work, meaning it's harder and harder for someone to come up with the processing power to falsify the blockchain. Now, other cryptocurrencies take this core idea of the blockchain and they'll add other stuff onto it. So the second most popular cryptocurrency right now is what's called Ethereum. Ethereum became a real big thing in the last cryptocurrency run. Here's what Ethereum does, okay? It adds some stuff on. Well, we have this big network of computers doing stuff, these cryptographic puzzles. Let's have that also do something else. Let's have them, run scripts. Let's say we have developers on the network that can, write programs, write, things that happen on the blockchain, right? You can interact with the blockchain. Well, Ethereum, what it adds is this additional scripting ability. You can, have your own kind of Ethereum token, I should say, that has its own special functions and does this when that happens. You can script the Ethereum blockchain. And the people who put their computers into this Ethereum network, they're actually rewarded Ether for letting their computers be used for this purpose, right? So that's how Ethereum works. I think technically the currency itself is just called Ether. Sometimes people call it Ethereum, even though I think the word Ethereum is really supposed to be reserved for the network as a whole. And there are actually a lot of tokens based on Ethereum. For example, the basic attention token, those of you who use Brave, you're using one of these Ethereum tokens. It's something that is scripted into the browser functionality in Brave. Or Chainlink is another popular token nowadays that's sort of taking off. Its goal is actually to integrate the scripting on the blockchain with scripting on the internet as a whole. That is, things on the blockchain can access things on the internet and vice versa. That's the idea of Chainlink. So this is the idea of a blockchain, though. It's a computer network that originally does something that's totally useless in itself, solves a bunch of cryptographic puzzles for nothing. But because you get proof of work out of that, you can actually have a decentralized currency. And not just the decentralized currency, but something that does lots of other stuff aside from that. Okay, you can start scripting it. Okay. Anyway, that's basics. I'll talk a little bit more about cryptocurrencies in another video, but that should help you understand.